everyone, and welcome to the latest Tempo Storm Wild Meta Snapshot breakdown. In this video, we'll go over the significant meta shift in response to the rise of Quest Mage as Wild's biggest threat. We're seeing a drop in relevance of top-tier mainstays like Big Priest and Murloc Shaman, while Odd Rogue is leading the charge of the Loatheb Brigade to keep Quest Mage in check. Furthermore, the dust has settled after the rise of the mech event, and changes in matchmaking after the event are resulting in a lower chance to queue into an opponent more than once in a row. With the reduced relevance of counter-queuing and the surge of aggro to counter Quest Mage, niche counter-queue decks such as Exodia Mage are fading from popularity. Before we break down these recent developments, don't forget to subscribe to the Tempo Storm Hearthstone YouTube channel to stay up to date with our Hearthstone content. Now let's jump right in! As always, decks at Tier 1 are all around powerful and have good matchup spreads against most decks. In this report, Quest Mage has established itself as the top deck of the format, and the meta is scrambling to adjust. As the format's premier combo deck, Quest Mage is a deck known for its explosive turns. The Mage bides its time gathering resources until it can play Sorcerer's Apprentice, Flame Waker, and Elemental Evocation into Mana Cyclone after playing tons of cheap spells on the same turn to fuel the Mage quest. This all eventually leads to the Mage taking an extra turn and dealing massive damage. Thanks to the wide range of randomly generated cards and cheap but effective freeze effects, Quest Mage can pull wins out of nowhere and sometimes be frustrating to play against. Since Quest Mage preys on passive decks, Wild is shifting aggressively in response. Leading the charge against Quest Mage, Odd Rogue combines the early tempo from the Pirate package and other high-tempo threats with consistent face damage and board control from the Baku-enhanced hero power. Mix in Loatheb to lock out Quest Mage and Big Priest, and you have an archetype that's well-positioned in a Quest Mage meta. Thanks to strong board management tools like Vile Spine Slayer, SI-7 Agent, and Dark Iron Skulker, Odd Rogue has good odds against aggressive decks as well. Thanks to its favorable position against so many popular decks, Odd Rogue jumps back to prominence in Tier 1. Also rounding out Tier 1 is Odd Paladin, which is another deck that combines the Pirate package, high-tempo early plays, and Baku's hero power enhancement to create consistent pressure. Odd Paladin's game plan is simple but persistently effective. Make Silver Hand recruits for cheap and buff them with Warhorse Trainer and Quartermaster to dominate the board. This deck also features Loatheb for locking out spell-based combos, and Never Surrender remains a popular choice to defend the board against spell-based removal. Odd Paladin is a longtime mainstay of Tier 1 and doesn't appear to be going anywhere anytime soon. Decks in Tier 2 are powerful, but tend to have weaker or more polarized matchup spreads against the field than Tier 1. This meta snapshot features 8 Tier 2 decks, but in this video we'll highlight 3 decks whose positions have changed significantly in recent weeks. Let's start with Murloc Shaman. Revolving around tribal synergies with Murloc Tidecaller, Underbelly Angler, Murloc Warleader, and other Murlocs, this deck builds intimidating boards quickly and threatens massive buffs from Everyfin is Awesome and Gentle Megasaur to close out the game. While this deck is still excellent against Quest Mage and Big Priest, it's starting to struggle due to the rise of decks like Odd Rogue and even Shaman that apply pressure while controlling the Shaman's board closely. Murloc Shaman also maintains its weakness against dedicated control strategies that may be poised to dominate if the scales tip too far towards aggression. Don't count the Murlocs out just yet though, as the deck is still fast, powerful, and persistent thanks to the Underbelly Angler engine. Big Priest is another example of a powerful deck that's losing traction in a Quest Mage and Odd Rogue meta. With Quest Mage taking Kingsbane Rogue's place as a Big Priest counter, the Priest is also taking collateral damage from the people running Loatheb to counter Mage, as a well-timed Loatheb can lock the Priest of the game before it gains a foothold. That being said, Big Priest is still doing unfair things, using Barnes and Shadow Essence to cheat big minions into play early, and resurrect Eternal Servitude and Diamond Spellstone to bring them back over and over again. During the early turns, the Priest's robust removal suite keeps opposing aggro decks off the board long enough to establish dominance with its massive threats. Even Shaman is our final Tier 2 deck with significant changes to mention. Even Shaman is a beneficiary of the Quest Mage meta, with an excellent matchup against Quest Mage itself, and positive matchups against other big players, even going toe-to-toe with Odd Rogue. It's also worth noting how much Even Shaman has changed since the rise of the mech event. Thunderhead is here to stay in Even Shaman, accompanied by a package of Overload synergy cards to generate rush tokens to maximize its impact. Even with these changes, the deck is still all about playing above curve threats, neutralizing the enemy's board, and finishing the enemy off with burn spells, and arguably no deck does this better than even Shaman. With Quest Mage targeting Big Priest and Odd Rogue targeting Quest Mage, it can seem like the wild meta is dominated by polarizing matchups. Getting ahead of this kind of meta can be difficult since Quest Mage and Odd Rogue both can punish passive and reactive strategies. It pays to be proactive yet flexible, and with that in mind, Dragon Priest may be poised for a comeback. Our featured legend list from HSK Pad has a flexible game plan against a variety of matchups. Against aggro, you can leverage the Dragon package with Duskbreaker, Twilight Acolyte, and Potion of Madness to manage the enemy's board, and Cabal Talon Priest and Extra Arms to build up your own minions so you can get ahead and stay ahead. Against slower matchups, you have the package of Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, and Shadow Visions to build an OTK, or Netherspite Historian with Draconet Operative to build solid threats while generating value. Since the Divine Spirit Inner Fire combo can be used with Twilight Acolyte and Potion of Madness to steal an enemy minion and turn it into a lethal threat, you often have the potential to win the game out of nowhere. It's definitely a potent strategy to try out on your climb on the wild ladder. Recent changes such as the rise of the mech event and the balance changes to Kingsbane Rogue have left their mark on Wild. With the rising popularity of Quest Mage to fill the niche left open by Kingsbane departure, Odd Rogue is itself rising up to answer the call to keep Quest Mage in check. As the Wild ecosystem adjusts to these developments, the format continues to revolve around powerful combos and persistent aggression. Wild is still a wide-open format with a variety of fun and powerful decks to try, so even if we didn't feature your favorite archetype in this video, you're likely to see it again in the future. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments where you think the Wild meta will end up next. Thanks for watching!